Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Set on the Hook TV. I'm your host Dylan. Today we are going to talk to you about a personal favorite style of fishing of mine. It is almost July, the weather's getting warm, we're having calm days. I'm so excited, I don't even know what to say. We are going to be talking about the best style of fishing, according to me, frog fishing. I love frogs, I got so many different types of frogs. This is one of two of my cases, I got so many cases, different colors. Alright. So, frog fishing. Basically, we got a couple different types of frogs. Me, I only use 2 or 3, so I know there's many different styles out there. We have the basic pad crashing frog. Okay? Got your hook right on the end there, you tie it. It's got the 2 hooks at the back. You guys can see those razor sharp hooks. Alright. So, a lot of people refer to those as the pad crashers. Generally, you cast it out and you basically just want to skip it on the pads, goes on the pads, you skip it around the holes. Another way, a style of fishing this is you can walk the frog, walk the dog, whatever people call it. I don't know, I call it just reeling it in, but you cast it out there, you give it twitches, and you make it go from side to side like this. You twitch it and it goes like that, and you make it go back and forth and stirs up a lot of water, stuff like that. Alright, second one is the popper frog. Okay, popping frog because it's got that large lip in the middle, got a little bit of indentation. What this does, you tie your line on there, when you put it in the water and you pop it, it spits out a lot of water, makes a lot of vibration. Again, bass, lateral line, key in on it, spit, make a lot of disturbance in the water. Bass are nosy, they will go and key in on it, they will get in there. So, frog fishing. Frog fishing, generally you want to use a long rod. All my bait casting rods are 7 foot plus. My frog fishing rods are 7 foot 2. For fishing line, generally if you're going to be using frogs, you're probably going to be, a lot of the pad crashing styles, you're going to be near weeds. You should be near weeds anyway. You don't be fishing frog in open water, 10, 12 foot of open water. I don't know why you would do that. You want to be near weeds. So, when you're near weeds, you want to have a strong line. My frog rod, I run 50-pound braid. 50-pound Power Pro braid. Love it. Any type of braid will do. With my popping frog styles, generally I use these more in open water. I will use them in the transition areas near lily pads and grass. I will use braided line on them. However, I do have a second topwater frog. It is rigged with 25-pound fluorocarbon. Yes, I know fluorocarbon sinks. People use monofilament. Well, I don't like monofilament. And again, I have a frog braided line rod ready to go. However, for some reason, my poppin' frog fluorocarbon line in the open water transition areas. If I'm in a weedy bay and there's, I'm in 6 foot of water from the top of the weeds, from the water, you had a couple foot gap. I'm going to throw the popper frog out. Again, I'm using fluorocarbon. I've had my best of luck on it. Some guys might not think that. That's okay. So, your 2 types of styles of frogs. So again, long rod, average rod, 6'6" is okay. Go to Canadian Tire. We only use longer rods for A, more leverage, B, better hook set, C, a lot of the 7 foot flipping sticks, frog rods, they're really stiffer. Bass comes up, hit the frogs, go down into the weeds. You want a strong rod to pull it out. So, again, heavy line, I suggest heavy pound if you're on fluorocarbon, monofilament. Minimum, you probably want to go 14 plus. Braided line, I use braided, go hard. So, frog rise. Some modifications on frogs I would like to do is generally when you get a frog in the mail, you might have heard of this on TV. Look how long that skirt is. These are resembling the legs. Some people do is they will trim this skirt. When the bass comes up, hits that frog, it's going to get a mouthful of these legs. When the bass gets more legs and doesn't get its mouth around the hooks, it's going to pull. You're going to set the hook, pull it right out. To me, if the legs are longer, the bass is going to has put more unnecessary stuff in its mouth when it doesn't have to. Some people will trim the skirt. I usually take about inch and a half off. I'll take it to there. The shorter you make the skirt, the more it is harder to walk the dog. It turns really easy, basically almost do a 360 in the water. So you want to leave a little bit there. Another thing that what I do is some people find this unique, I actually love it, in my frog case, I just pulled out a black Sharpie. First thing I'm going to explain to you, yellow frog. See this yellow frog? It's got black spots on it. You look on the belly, originally, frogs come with white bellies. Have you ever seen a frog with a white belly? Rarely. What I'll do, take a little Sharpie, put a couple little dots all over it. The key thing with frogs, you want to make them as natural as possible. You get a frog with a white belly or any color belly, don't be afraid to put a couple little designs in there. Same thing, I got a green frog there. What I did, I put a bunch of tiger stripes on the back. Again, different color frogs. Again, Sharpies. In my frog case, I always have a black Sharpie. Got so much stuff here I don't even know what to do. Alright. Now, I'm going to let you in on a secret just because we got to get some viewers here. And also, I'm a nice guy. I like sharing my tactical secrets. So, if you guys haven't noticed, frogs, they usually don't make sound. They pop in the water, stuff like that. However, this frog's got rattles in it. So, key secret of mine. I go to Sail, Bass Pro. I don't think Canadian Tire carries these. You got some rattles, little drop shots in them. I think all these rattles are like $3. Anyway, you usually get about a dozen rattles for a couple bucks. Anyway, what I will do, I will take one of these rattles. See these frogs right in there where the hook's going in there? I'll try and open that up for you. What I would do is where those hooks go in, I will pull it like this, take one of those rattles, shove it right in that frog. Some people leave half the rattle sticking out. Me, I just put it right in. Again, when you have that frog and you're popping on the water, it's not only going to splash that water around, make disturbance in the lateral line, it is going to make a rattle. Bass, as we know, love locating baits, rattles. They will keen in on that. More chances of catching fish. Alright, so that is it for frog modifications. I don't really do too much with frogs. Trim the skirt, put a couple dots with a Sharpie if you want, and then, if you want, put some rattles in it. So, how to fish a frog. So, I drew a lily padded area. We have a little bit of a bay. This is what we're going to do. When you got a pad crushing frog, you have this lily pads. We're gonna focus. We got some holes. Bass or ambush predators, you want to aim for those holes. We got a hole here. We got a hole here. Holes here. Holes right there. So, whatever your target is the hole, correct? You want that frog, you want to skip it in the pads, drop it in the hole. You never want to cast straight for that hole. You cast it for that hole, you get it on the shot, makes a big splash, gonna spook those bass. You don't want that. What you do is if you're aiming, we're gonna try this one. If we're aiming for this one here, I'm actually gonna aim about 5 feet past it. So in case you guys can't see, the hole's right here. Darn glare. The hole's right here. I'm going to cast all the way up there. Land the frog up here. Skip it on the pad to the pad. And then pop it into that hole. Let it wait a couple seconds. Get a bit of a twitch. Guarantee there will be a bass in there. Same thing with this hole. We got the hole right here. You want to aim all the way down there. Skip that frog in there. Skip that frog in there. Gets into that hole. Let it sit for a bit. Give it a bit of a twitch. If bass is there, he's going to strike. Same thing in this hole. Cast 5 feet past that hole. Aim right there. Same thing. I don't need to go through the whole thing with you guys. So, that is with the pad style crashing frog. Me, personally, with my popper frogs, you can do this with regular frogs for walking the dog technique. This is what we're going to do. So, we have the padded area. We got open water all in here. What I'm going to do is, you know, bass or ambush predators, they sit on weed edges, irregularities. This is whole edge, bit of a bay right there. I am going to actually take a frog and start casting him right all the way down there. Straight line. I'll have my boat positioned back here, make some cast. I am going to basically cast the frog here and give him some pops all down here. Bring that frog all the way down here. As I come over here, again, you can even cast right here, cast the frog there, pop that frog in there. There's going to be bass nearby, guys. So again, when you pop that frog, bass going to key in, search, go. As you get closer, let's say my boat, I'm trying to draw a boat here. Looks more like a speedboat, but anyway, we got the boat right here. We got the weed pad edge going here. I'm going to start casting over here. Work that frog back to the boat. Again, you're going to work that edge, cast, start working this edge. You want to basically bring your boat, you want to be close to the edge, to the lily pad edge, and just cast parallel with the lily pad edge. Pop that frog back to the boat. Again, open water, I will use my popping frog. You don't have to use frogs in a situation like that. I just do. I love frogs. But for tournament anglers, stuff like that, we got multiple rods rigged. I will have my frog pad crashing rod ready, lily pads, cast it, pop some bass on that, on the lily pads. I will circle out. What I'll do is I'll circle around, come back in, open water. I will throw the pad crashing frog in there. A lot of times I'll work an area with both frogs, go out a couple hours later, I will come back. If it's still calm, same thing. If there's a little bit of chop on the water, I will Texas rig that area, work the weed edges. Instead of frogs, if you only want to buy one style of frogs, you don't have to buy that many of frogs. A lot of them, I got sponsors, I got Vox sending me frogs in the mail. See a couple in the back, different colors. You can buy just the one style of frog, the pad crasher, and then other topwater baits instead of resulting two different frogs. Yeah, topwater poppers, same thing as the popper frog. Pops on the top. We have the classic old-fashioned jitterbug. I love these. I've been using these since I was a kid. We have great ore for the edges of the lily pads. Buzzbaits. Love buzzbaits. I'm a topwire type of guy. I have 2 of these clear cases full of every single one. I got tons of colors. So again, lily pads. Cast those pad crashing frogs out. Work them in a little bit. Weed edges. You can walk the dog. Or you can even just work the frog just on the edge of that. Just on the edge of the line here back to the boat. It's all about positioning. Now, if you're on shore fishing, it gets a little bit difficult. You can't have boat positioning. On shore, basically, all out blitz. Hail Mary. Get that frog out in the lily pads, out in the mats. Just bring it in. Just cast it out, just umbrella rig. Much cast out there as possible. More cast the better. Keep that lure in the water. The longer it's in the water, more chance you have of getting fish. So again, you work the lily pads, you work those edges, transition lines, that's what the bass will be. I think that's about it for frogs. You got different types of colors of frogs. If you notice, my case of frogs, I got my greens, I got some browns, I got blues, I have yellows, blacks, I got pinks, I got some soft plastic frogs. I got a Walmart on sale. I got 4 of those for $5. They come already Texas rigged. Those are actually really good. These sink a little bit. Those got good. As for color, there is a saying you want to match the hatch. For frogs, you generally, like I said, there's different colors of frogs out there. You got frogs, green, you got toads that are brown. The reason why you have different colors, you want more variety. Where the brown versus the black versus the green come in, there's a natural frog is a green color, stuff like that. What a lot of people don't understand about black frogs is I love these black frogs. That's got my rattle in it already. Oh, the rattle's not working. Gonna have to put one in it. Thing with these black frogs is, the time to use a black frog is picture bright blue sky, 30-degree weather, nice sunny day, calm water. If you guys ever been in a situation where you've had someone stand in between you and the sunlight's behind them and all you see is their black silhouette, exact same scenario. So picture these bass, they're in the water, they're looking up at the weeds, you have the top of the water, you have the blue sky and the sun beating down on them. When they see a frog and it comes into play, all they're going to see is a silhouette, black. They're going to see the silhouette, they're going to see the action of the frog moving, they're going to feel the vibration, they're going to go and hit that strike. Again, that's where the black comes in. Not a lot of people use black. I love black. Some of my best frog fishing has been on the black frogs. Again, basically when it's sunny, bright blue sky, I'm throwing black frogs. Again, bass are setting down, they are used to seeing those silhouettes. I throw the black frogs in. The only time I will switch to a colored frog is when it's overcast but calm. Versus the green and the yellows and the browns and the blues, that's just a personal preference. Sometimes you'll get to know the different styles of lakes. Here in Southern Ontario, I know some different lakes. Some bass and some lakes like my brown frogs. I know my one lake likes yellow frogs. Again, unfortunately, I'm not going to tell you which lake is what. Maybe if you ask me in person, I might give you some ideas. Those are a couple of my secrets for tournaments. Again, basically for different colors, black is a general good. Green and brown are a green. Those are general average colors. Again, black you want to use bright sunny days. As for the other colors, best way is experiment. Go to the spot over and over again, different day, different weather, cast it out. You do want to use frogs and topwater on nice calm days. If there is chop and ripples on the water from the wind, topwater isn't that effective. Then you want to use a submerged bait underneath. That goes for any topwater, any types of poppers, jitterbugs, bugs, baits, frogs. You generally want calm water. I've seen some people be ripping topwaters when it's windy. You know, if you get a nice calm back bay that's really calm, absolutely throw those out. But you don't want to be using frogs and topwater when there's chop on the water. The bass aren't going to keen out on that, right? You got the waves making motions on top. The bass aren't going to hear the motion of the frogs on top, over the top of the waves, right? So believe it or not, on a windy day, go to a lake, stick your head under the water. You can hear the waves. Those bass aren't going to hear those frogs when it's windy and you're ripping topwater, right? So I think that's about it for the frog episode. Colors, again, ripping frogs. You want a heavy line, 14-pound monofilament fluorocarbon line minimum. Go all the way up. Me, I use braided line. If I use braided line, I'm always fishing in the weeds. Fish do see braided line, believe it or not. In case you haven't noticed, fluorocarbon monofilament. Take that line, stick it in a clear glass of water, fluorocarbon monofilament. It is transparent. That's why I like using fluorocarbon when I'm ripping frogs or other topwaters and open water. I'll use fluorocarbon. It's transparent. If I'm using braid, I'm always in the thick weeds, thick lily pads. Bass have a hard time seeing it, right? There's a lot of cover mixed in. Chances are they're not going to see that line. So you want a nice heavy action, medium heavy action rod. Bass takes it down in the weeds. You want enough power to pull it out. Heavy action rod, heavy line. I've showed you with the walking the frog. I'll do another instructional video on how to do a frog. You have popping frogs. You have regular pad crashing frogs. Modifications, trim the skirts, put your rattles in it, get a Sharpie, put a couple dots on the bellies. So again, thanks guys for tuning in for an episode of Set on the Hook TV. Again, feel free to comment, and good luck out there guys on the frog fishing, and definitely let me know if these tips helped you or not. Take care guys.